it's the rare individual that comes in to see me that doesn't ask sooner or later, do I have a case? What do you think of my case? What kind of case do I have? That's a very common question. We see it all the time. And while an answer to the question, what is my case worth, can seldom be given with any confidence or reliability on an initial visit. In fact, some folks characterize it as malpractice to evaluate a case on a first visit because you don't know the extent of the client's injuries. You usually can tell a client what the likelihood of the case going forward and resulting in a settlement or a verdict in their favor is. And the reason for that is that cases have two principal elements to them. The first one that we always look at is there fault? Was the person that caused the injury truly at fault? And if there isn't any question about that, great example being rear-end collisions. If the client or the claimant's been sitting at the stop sign minding their own business and they're struck from behind, there's no doubt about the fault. And at that point, we can tell the client that they are legally entitled and will very likely recover those damages that are the result of that collision. Now, that sounds simple, but sometimes you've got folks that already have some injuries or have prior injuries, and the impact and the treatment they get could arguably be attributed to a prior injury or could arguably be attributed to the automobile accident, and that's where our advocacy comes in. And that's where making some determination of what the case is worth becomes that much more difficult. But in those circumstances, the foundational evidence that we turn to help answer those questions are the experts in the field, and those are doctors. What the doctor says has everything to do with whether or not a claimant is going to be able to be compensated for a particular injury. And likewise, that is why the insurance company hires doctors, which are allowed under the rules of the court, to examine the claimant if the case goes that far. And it shouldn't come as any surprise to most folks that those doctors that are hired by the insurance company don't seem to see the level of injury or the causation of that injury in the same way that the treating physician does, and they are used to minimize the value of a settlement or the value of a verdict.